Hi guys, welcome back, and this time around I'm bringing you two IEMs that I've had for a while now. It's the AngelEars TFZ collaboration, the Athena, and the CVJ collaboration as well with R2E3 MEDUSA. Two single DDs sharing a lot of common DNA, let's put it that way. Their tuning style is actually surprisingly similar, specifically or especially in the bass, in the way that the bass is done. It's a kind of tuning style that was used more frequently a couple of years ago, but perhaps because of the fact that the drivers were just not as capable as the drivers that we are now seeing, or then maybe because of the over enthusiastic nature of who was tuning, maybe made this style of tuning become a little bit overly emphasized or overcolored. Some of the IEMs that used this tuning style from before didn't seem to work as nicely as I would have liked, or as what we would have liked anyway. These two in particular, they're using really high quality drivers, and it's evident from the first time you listen to it, because if you looked at the graphs only and then you tried to take some conclusions about the sound, you would say, okay, it's going to be overly thick in the bass, it's got a lot of bleeding to the mids, and the highs, I don't know, they're going to be a little bit shouty and peaky. And the reality is, when you actually listen to them, be it the Athena or be it the Medusa, they are really fun and engaging. And I think that's the main thing about these two IEMs. Actually, the main thing about these four IEMs, because they all have a very similar sound. They are fun. These are IEMs that are not here for the sake of being the most audiophile correct and everything is beautifully done and the bass doesn't bleed and the mids are spot on, male and female vocals and timbre. No. These are colored IEMs, any one of these four, but they are very, very well tuned, and it's all a testament to the engineers that tuned them having taken the driver, selected the proper shell, and tuned everything in a coherent manner to showcase what could be done with that driver in that particular shell. And this is, I think, at the end of the day, the main thing that distinguishes a lot of the times IEMs is, if I take a particular driver, a brilliant driver, and I stick it in a shell, which is metal, and I tune it in a specific manner, and then I take the same driver and I stick it in the shell but made in resin, and I tune it in the same manner, they will not sound exactly the same. There will be differences. And so if a driver, for example, has a tendency of being overly bright, perhaps maybe choose a shell that will not, and a tuning method that will not showcase that particular characteristic. On the reverse, maybe if you do use a shell which allows for you to take advantage of maybe some negative aspect of a driver that it has, that under other circumstances will be showcased as not so desirable, if you know what you're doing, and that's evident in these IEMs, the result is going to be a pleasant result, and that's the case. The other two IEMs I've got here are two IEMs from NFACOUS, the NA20 and the RG15. The NA20 is part of the NA20 and M20 series. This is the audiophile version, while the RG is their gaming IEM, which has a close relationship to the RA15, which has exchangeable nozzles, while this one doesn't have the exchangeable nozzles. Now, what I can say about these four IEMs is they share a lot of common DNA, and that common DNA is in the form of they all have this very well done thick bass presentation, but because of the quality of the drivers being used, it's clean, it's precise, it's resolving, it doesn't muffle anything, and so the transition from the bass into the mids is done, in my opinion, impeccably. There's absolutely nothing that I can say, oh no, this, no. Honestly, I listened to a whole bunch of stuff, varied styles of music, very different songs, different volume levels, and only with one or two songs here and there was I able to then start picking up on slight imperfections, okay? But at normal listening levels, and it's actually some of them pretty loud, mind you, the reality is this: they sound phenomenal, any one of these fours. I take the TFC, the Athena, bass, phenomenal, great bass, clean, detailed. The transition to the mids, male and female vocals, excellent. I would say the vocals are perhaps even, and the mids are perhaps even the star of the show here on the Athena. Extension up top, great, plenty of extension. I mean, you listen to live music on, you know, like something like Young Blomqvist. You listen to live music on the Athena and you will be impressed. Trust me, you will be impressed. So in terms of frequency, coherence, nothing to be said. Top marks. You know, technically, timbre and tonality, I think it's the best characteristic that it has, followed then by soundstage and imaging. Detail and micro and macro details as well, perfect. Nothing, honestly, there was really very little, and I think it's more down to personal preferences and nitpicking and trying to find a fault that I can say that I found here on the Athena. It is a really good IEM that deserved way more attention than the attention that it got, and I myself as well am to blame for it, because I should have reviewed it when I first got it. Next to the Athena, I've got here the CVJ, collaboration with R2E3, and in the form of the Medusa. Again, using a really high quality driver, metal shell this time around, not a resin shell. And again, what they've been able to do here with the Medusa is nothing short of amazing. Great bass. I would even say the bass here is slightly superior to the Athena, although very similar, but it's slightly superior, and it's down to, in my opinion, to the fact of the shell being metal helping out with that. And then again, mids, upper mids, treble, really good. I would say the information past 10k is also slightly better here or slightly better now. It's more abundant here in the CVJ, so maybe a slightly larger soundstage with a little bit more detailed retrieval than the Athena. But the truth is this, honestly, this is about $120, $130. Sometimes it comes down in terms of price. This is about $130 to $150. Sometimes again it comes down in price. You can't go wrong with any one of them. Honestly, you can't. Love the Athena, love the Medusa. Two absolutely phenomenal IEMs. The reason why I've got here the two NFACOUS models is very simple. If by any chance you listen to the RG15 or you have an RG15, then the Medusa is very similar. They are unbelievably similar. Really, the similarities are incredible. As for the NA20 and the Athena, the same situation. You will notice a peculiarity or a particular detail here. Both of these have metal shells, which have dictated their similarities. Both of these have resin shells, which have also dictated or played a part, in my opinion, in their similarities in terms of sound. With regards to the overall sound of these two versus these two, this here, a little bit less detail up top, a little bit more closed down up top in terms of past 8K. These two more detailed up top, okay, but not huge differences. Trust me, not huge differences. In terms of bass, the bass here cleaner, more incisive in these two. Over here, a little bit less, a little bit tamer. Again, in my opinion, it's all down to the shell and the resonances that shell has introduced or has been able to push out of these drivers here, and in this case here as well, the same situation. So that's basically it, guys. I'm not gonna drag on here for a review that goes on forever and forever. If there are IEMs that you want me to compare with the Athena and with the Medusa, I can do that. You guys just let me know, and I'll put them. I'll make a video just for that. But the idea here is to just say that, be it the TFZ collaboration with AngelEars in the form of the Athena, or be it the CVJ, the collaboration with R2E3 in the form of the Medusa, these two are really, really good IEMs. One point here that I should also mention is that the Medusa follows a tuning style that CVJ introduced in some of the IEMs during this year. The Aria, the other R2 collaboration with R2E3 collaboration that they did, which was the Mermaid, and the Yumi, I believe it's an all-white IEM. I believe it's what Yumi or Yuki. Actually, you know what? Let me just see the name so I can tell you properly, and I don't mislead you. I don't like doing that. what is it, CVJ Yukimi, exactly, my apologies. So the Yukimi, the Aria, the Mermaid, and the Medusa, they all have a similar style in terms of the tuning. I haven't listened to the Yukimi, although looking at the Yukimi and having listened to what a few other trusted reviewers that I usually talk with told me, I don't think the Yukimi is better than the Medusa. The same thing applies for me, in my opinion, with regards to the Mermaid. So I think the Aria, and I do have the Aria, and I've reviewed the Aria. I think the Aria and the Medusa are probably the two best out of that quartet of IEMs that have kind of followed the same tuning style. And that's that, guys. I think there's really not much more I can tell you. Let me just quickly show you the graphs, just for the sake of curiosity, and we'll wrap it up. Okay, guys, so here are the graphs. This is the graph for the TFZ Athena. Let me just quickly just show you these points that I like paying attention to. 100 hertz, you see where it corresponds, close to 3, almost 3 kilohertz. You have that little peak there at 5, but the amount of energy you have from behind here doesn't interfere in any negative manner. I mean, it just cleans up the whole sound, makes this part of the spectrum actually sound way more cleaner and not as thick as you would think by looking at the graph. So really well done. This this next one that I'm putting up now is the Medusa. As you can see, very similar. A little bit more detail up top. Base exactly the same. The pin again very similar. I mean, yes, the peak is a little bit just over 2Ks, but the amount of energy that's there, and again that peak just after 5K, it's more than controlled by the base that comes from behind, and it just works, guys. Trust me when I say it works, it just works. Okay, as for the other two, so that you guys can see what I was talking about, this one here is the NA20. Look, NA20, phenomenal IEM, love it to death. I have it in my rotation of IEMs that I listen to all the time. The Athena is definitely gonna be part of that, and is definitely very similar. If anything, that maybe just a little smidge more bass on the NF audio, smidge more, but hey guys, minimal. As for the other two, so the CVJ, okay, and this is the RG15. Again, you can see very similar, almost identical. And if I put all four, you can see exactly what I was saying. They all are very similar. The biggest difference really is here. Two of them, the TFZ and the NA, will be a little bit tamer, past 10K, if that's a way of putting it, while the other two will have a little bit more energy, giving it a slightly larger soundstage. That's it. Okay, guys, as always, like and subscribe. Any questions, please feel free to ask me. Take care now. Bye-bye.